You all need to stop. You are assaulting an officer right now.
A violent confrontation between police and an actress at this Houston's restaurant leads to talk of another boycott. Details of the incident caught on camera.
Police increasing security along the west side Beltline after a violent attack. Is it enough to keep you safe?
It's been viewed millions of times, a controversial traffic stop in Cobb County. We're going to show you what this driver should have done.
Another scabies outbreak at a Georgia nursing home, with the lawmakers pledging to do and direct response to our investigation.
It is one of the busiest outdoor spots in the metro, but tonight Atlanta police say they are stepping up patrols along the Beltline after a violent attack. Natisha Lance is on the West Side Trail with details and a look at just how safe the area may or may not be.
Yeah, Vinny, police say this attack happened yesterday afternoon in the middle of the day, and because of it, they have stepped up patrols along the west side of the Beltline. But I have to tell you, I've been out here for 3 hours today, and I have not seen one officer yet. But take a look at what happened. Police say a group of friends were chased down the Beltline by a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old with a gun. The group was hanging out right here in Angel Park when the kids approached and asked if they could use this swing. As the group left, they say that the kids started throwing rocks at them, and some of them were as big as baseballs. Then one of the kids pointed a gun.
Surprising.
Folks I spoke with on the Beltline did not know about the incident. Most of them say they feel safe, but all feel there could be more security.
Times I see patrol as I'm riding, but not too much.
The west side of the Beltline opened in September. Atlanta police say they haven't had any violent crimes in the area since. Patrols were increased along the east side of the trail 5 years ago after a string of robberies, which may have led to security cameras lining the west side trail. And people using the trail say they have seen patrols.
I've seen police back and forth on their bikes. So I do hope that they're doing more and more, and I know they're working with the community.
So how safe is it? Well, APD wouldn't give us any stats about crime, and they also wouldn't give us any specifics about how they are increasing patrols in the area, but this is certainly a story that we're going to stay on top of. Now, in the meantime, Crime Stoppers is offering a reward up to $2,000 for any information that leads to the arrest of those 2 kids involved in the incident.
Tonight, a dramatic piece of video out of Cobb County is creating a social conversation after being viewed more than 4 million times. In the video, a police officer is confronting a young man over a traffic stop and asking him to comply with his demands, but that young man and his fiancée aren't having any of it. Tonight, Ron Jones, who's a former police officer himself, takes us through the video and what should happen in any kind of a traffic stop.
And Vinny, the video pretty much sums up the frustration we've seen on both sides of this issue of a car stop. African Americans feeling they are being targeted by police officers, and police officers frustrated that their orders are not being followed. In fact, we've seen it twice in our area in these past few weeks.
Get on your knees.
A Cobb County police officer tries to arrest this driver.
Why the f he got to get down on his knees?
The voice you hear in this Facebook post is apparently his fiancée videotaping the whole thing. The driver is accused of running a stop sign and refusing to comply with the officer's orders. The officer appears to be pointing a weapon at him.
And why you got your taser out? And why you being super extra?
It gets extra heated because the officer wants the driver back in the car.
What the f get in the car for? For what? For a stop sign? For a stop sign?
This is the second time in several weeks a Metro Atlanta police officer stop has escalated into a confrontation. You may recall the case of Rose Campbell, who refused to sign her traffic ticket in Alpharetta, thinking it would be admitting guilt. The stop escalated from there and ended up with her being violently pulled from her car by police. Now, if you're pulled over for any traffic violation, here's what's recommended. Now, every situation is different, but according to the ACLU and the National Black Police Officers Association, if you're pulled over, the best thing to do is to comply with that officer's instructions. The officer will also ask to see your driver's license, your registration, and proof of insurance. And get this, if you refuse to sign that ticket, you could go to jail. Yeah, that's true.
What the f does he need to put his hands behind his back for?
In this situation, the Cobb County officer calls for backup.
Here come another one. Here come another one. Look at all these police cars. Look at this for him, for supposedly running a stop sign.
Now, Ron, this could have been much worse.
Yeah, that's right. Now, if the officer would have felt that his life was in danger, of course, Vinny, it could have escalated his use of force. And by the way, we're still waiting to get the incident report to see what that guy was arrested for in the first place. All right, turning now to the speed feed. Late breaking news, folks. We're getting our first look at a police body cam video of a shooting at the Trump National Doral Golf Club in Florida. Right now, you can hear shot after shot, fire alarms blaring as Miami-Dade police track down and finally arrest the accused gunman, Jonathan Odie. And we're told that he scaled a fence at the hotel on Friday, stole an American flag, and then waved a gun around while screaming anti-Trump rhetoric. Odie is being held without bond tonight, facing nearly a dozen charges. Well, it's election eve. Georgians go to the polls tomorrow to vote in the primary. The governor's race in the Democratic side is a battle of the Staceys, Abrams and Evans, both the former state representatives. And on the Republican side, there are 6 candidates for governor. Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle and Secretary of State Brian Kemp lead the latest 11 Alive Survey USA poll. Voting hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, you can find all those election results as soon as we get them on 11alive.com.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we end up with a runoff. Thanks, Ron.
Were you scared?
Yes, sir.
Did you think you were being attacked?
Yes, sir.
Did you think he was going to cause you great bodily harm?
Yes, sir, I did.
That is former DeKalb County police officer Robert Olson, charged with murder after shooting Afghanistan war veteran Anthony Hill, who was unarmed and naked at the time. Today was day 1 of his immunity hearing, where he's trying to get the charges dismissed by a judge before a trial even takes place.
You had to pull your weapon?
I was stopping an immediate threat to me.
What threat is a naked running man?
I got some insight into today's hearing from my legal dream team, Emory law professor and trial attorney Randy Kessler and defense attorney Daryl Cohen.
Were you under the belief that you were being assaulted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any doubt in your mind as to what you were thinking when this encounter occurred?
Absolutely not.
Olson's emotions and demeanor in court, good or bad?
I thought he was terrific.
He was great.
His body language and his facial expressions were terrific.
After the shooting, the first thing I did, I went to my car to get my first aid kit.
He was honest, believable. I liked him.
Say the words that you said to him at the tone of voice and the volume that you said them.
Stop, stop! Was he being attacked?
How long after that was it before you shot him?
Maybe a second.
Seems to me like he was being attacked.
That's what an attack is, a naked man running at you, crazy, waving his arms around.
Is this about how far away you were from him?
No.
The prosecutor, in his demonstration, moving closer and closer.
Let me come forward 1, 2, 3 steps. How about that?
It was closer.
Closer?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 steps closer.
It would be about that close, it seemed.
Does that help the prosecution?
I think it hurts the prosecution.
He almost turned the defendant into a victim.
Prosecutors don't act sarcastic.
He made it almost too real. Bad move.
I was trying to exit my car as quickly as possible, counselor.
Or was it that you really weren't scared of this guy, you were just kind of disgusted by a naked man running at you?
No, sir.
Who had a better day, prosecution or defense?
Defense. Remember, this is all or nothing. He can get off the hook, and if he doesn't get off the hook, he still gets a trial where there's a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
The defense, because he was credible, he was honest, and I think that the judge, and if it comes to it, a jury, is going to buy his story because it seemed like the truth.
The hearing will continue tomorrow. The defense has the burden of proof and must prove to the judge by a preponderance of the evidence that Olson acted in self-defense and that the shooting was justified.
Why would you do that?
Get off of me.
Stop! I'm recording it. I'm recording it.
The late feed is back in 60 seconds with this outrageous arrest video involving an actress and her friends outside a local Houston's restaurant. Plus, our 11 Alive investigators uncover another terrible case of neglect at a local nursing home. See you in 60.